Hey guys, welcome to this edition of the Dojo Rescue. I'm Graham McDonald. I've got Phil Britton and Eddie here. I thought I'd step in and take over.
Mate, he's always stepping on my toes. I was just.
It's always a competition. You snooze, you lose. Well, look, guys, you can see we love to have some fun with this stuff. We love to give you some great content and some material. This is the follow-up, the wrap-up on the process from our sales. So we've already spoken about getting them in, the trial process, the sales process, and then what happens when they become a client. So take it away, boys.
Yeah, look, I think the job's not done when they sign the dotted line. And I don't know, I think from memory, Graham, you're probably better at the numbers from me. The industry standard, or no, our standard of how long a student actually sticks around.
Look, it's one of those things, and the first 100 days are critical. First 100 days, and look, if you think about that, is that's 3 months, give or take. Basically, you've got an opportunity, especially for adults and also kids. They haven't formed habits yet. Even more so adults. We started to see quite a lot of the adults are the ones who start, they join, they're committed, and then just life becomes busy. So the first 100 days is critical to help them navigate, mitigate those challenges, those pains, those issues that are going to arise. And some of the things that we do is not hide the fact that they're going to, reach those. It's celebrate them and let them know that that's going to happen. And here's these strategies to help to minimize that pain for them or get around those sort of challenges they may be facing.
Again, Eddie, you're a little bit different than everyone else, but I'll throw it to you because you're still sort of within those 100 days.
Yeah,
so
it's just after, I guess, but I've gone through it just now.
So what does the first 100 days mean to you? I mean, you're a pretty dedicated guy anyway, but what did it mean to you?
It's about getting to maintenance phase, right? So if we look at the buyer behavior of any product, straight after purchase, people think, was that right? Now, for martial arts specifically, and really gyms, anything that's a service type industry ongoing, we've got to use that first 2 weeks is critical, right? Where we're cushioning them through the process, and their mind is not on, yes, should I, shouldn't I? It's on, okay, what's the next thing, right? Yeah. So you could think of it as staggering down from purchase the amount of interaction, right? Until they're into total maintenance phase. And yes, there is in Zendo or in freestyle, there is the fitness aspect.
Yep.
I was virtually dying on the first couple of classes, like whiter than I am normally. And then, getting towards maintenance phase towards the end of that 3 months, because it actually takes people a lot longer to get proper fit or properly back into their fitness than we probably think being fit now.
I got this is covered. No.
So it's about moving people from the action phase. So they've taken action, they've joined up, and we want to get them to maintenance so it's indefinite. And what really makes me, I'm just blown away by the number, right? You'll hear this in martial arts communities, is that it's 1 in 10,000 participants becomes a black belt.
That's right.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
10,000, right? That's a very small number.
Yeah.
Right? When you consider that it's not the objective.
And Eddie, just to add to that, it's not 1 in 10,000 population, it's 1 in every 10,000 people who actually start martial arts. Actually start. So even more so, because you get 1 in 10,000, we've got a city of a couple of million.
Yeah.
No, who actually take the effort to start that journey. So even more so, it's like, wow.
Very rare, right? And in my mind, like as we've sort of discussed, like we're not typical consumers. We're the sort of people that go, okay, well, we start with the end in mind almost, and that's not the end, as we also learn once you're in martial arts. It's the beginning of the black belt journey, I guess. But that statistic in itself shows that it's very difficult for people to get into that maintenance phase, right? So our role within the business in this onboarding period is to go, what are their needs in that period, and how do we coax them through it, right? And much more staggered after the first 2 weeks. So first 2 weeks is like an everyday thing, or once every 3 days, or to the next time they're coming in. And then after that, it's every 10 days, and so on and so forth.
Look, I know that as an industry, and you would have heard this tons of times, guys who are listening and watching this, the 2, 4, 6 week calls. Now, that's not enough. 2, 4, 6 weeks. If you have a scheduled call within the first 2 weeks and they haven't turned up to any classes, you've lost them. So,
well, if you signed up and you didn't do anything, or hear from the company in 2 weeks, what have you paid for?
That's exactly right.
Going, I thought this was a premium service.
Correct. That's exactly right. So, Phil, what are we doing now? Because we've introduced a way to, really try and minimise that cancellation rate or that drop-off rate in that first 100 days.
Yeah, look, I don't know, can't remember exactly all the stages, but basically what we've identified it. Yes, we've coined this 100 days, the first 100 days of a student. And as Eddie said, we looked at the average person. Everyone's going to be different, but what do they need to know? How would they be feeling? What could we give them that would overcome their fears, their objections, their aches and pains, so that they feel like that, actually, I'm just like everyone else. I'm not alone. Like I'm not the only one who's got sore hamstrings after the first few days of classes. I know what the next tip on my belt. I know what that means. I know what I have to do for graduation. I know I got these postcards congratulating me on getting it. Do you know what I mean? So it's really that sort of high level, full-on interaction that you're a part of this massive community. It's it's really, really important, and that would range from actual physical conversations, postcards in the snail mail, and that works very, very well because
no one gets snail mail.
No one gets it anymore.
Like,
it's awesome, especially if you're a kid. It's nothing better for a kid. They go. My kids had their handful of postcards from martial arts school. Those things are enough for them to always want to check the mailbox.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially around Christmas time, we've got the junk mail. They're really into that. You've got emails, phone call conversations. You've got invites to this and that. So there's a range of different interactions from verbal, physical, emotional, online, offline, along those 100 days.
We've also got a few pros that we brought in at the moment. Again, while you're chatting, Phil, and relating this to martial arts, as a fighter, a brand new fighter, when they jump in the ring, their coach is in the corner. And as a beginner, the coach is a hell of a lot more vocal to support because they're a rookie. They're just, they're bewildered. They're unsure of what's happening. An experienced fighter, the coach is pretty much almost mute. They don't really have to say a lot. So in this 100 days, you're a rookie to our organisation, so we have to make sure that the instructors are there, yes, to help, but there is a person that we have called a greeter, or someone who is your accountability buddy, someone who's going to manage your process and be your little voice in your ear in that coach. So especially in the first 2 weeks, Eddie comes to the school, I know his schedule when he's arriving, and he's also booked to that time slot. So my guys are waiting to welcome Eddie in the door and make sure, hey Eddie, how you going, man? Da, 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 da.
You can't overservice it.
No.
Right? I mean, people want to know that if they don't go to a class, they're missed.
Yep.
Right? That's a little dopamine hit. And the Kaizen Award. And your 2 trial classes and how you went.
Yep.
Right? And having a chat. And then mixing you up with someone.
Yep.
And then your tip testing each month. All those things, they add up. They're little dopamine hits that make you feel loved and part of the community.
Yeah, massively. And I think it's nice to know that those sessions are booked, and if you're missed, they're on the phone straight away. So it's not like you're 2 weeks and there's no contact. It's like, man, we know you're coming on Monday, and why weren't you there on Monday? And if you weren't able to make it for whatever reason, well, let's book you in for Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, whatever the day is. So that initial heavy-handed contact will, as you sort of said, slowly taper off over those 100 days. Not that we'll ever let them go, but it just means that we've really made sure that they feel welcome and build that rapport. Plus, that person is a really great person to be able to steer Eddie, for example, with the right partnering to build the right relationships in class, which means that they're almost stepping back. It's like building that friendship circle. If I put Eddie with the wrong partner, his experience may be pretty... not the most beneficial, whereas I put him with someone who's going to click with in those early stages until he finds his own feet and can find his own groups, well, that's going to make it a lot easier to keep that rapport as well.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
A lot of this stuff you should, and if you've set your business up right, systemised it as automated as possible. So, for example, you would say get your yellow belt and you'd be tagged that in your system that you've been getting a yellow belt. You'll automatically get the email saying, congratulations, well done. Things are going to be changing for you. You're going to improve this. You're going to be learning that. And then, you'll get that phone call from one of the people who gives you that sort of more human touch as well. So it's not just digital as well. It's just important that it's not that you're trying to make it more labour intensive, and some of you guys are thinking, gee, I don't know if I can do that. Well, start somewhere. What can you automate so you're not having to get in there and do it? There still should be some human interaction, whether that's you, a greeter that you put on, a volunteer from your leadership program that is around. Sure. So there's always a way. Like, I don't want you to think all the things we've spoken about in these videos, in this podcast, the salesperson is like, oh my God, I couldn't never have a dedicated salesperson because I just don't have the staff. Well, that's a limiting belief. You've got to find a way to make that happen. I know when I first started my first school up, from 0 students and no one in the class to having 100 students in that first year, which was quite good back then. We were able to trump that many times. But I structured it so I could still do those introductory lessons while I did the class, and I had a gap, and I would do my intro lessons. And if I could get 2 or 3 people in that one, then I would. But I didn't want to just throw people in classes, because I knew the value of doing this guided tour. I knew the value of also following people up. I knew the value of automating much as possible, but also giving them that human touch as well.
And for small schools or big schools, it doesn't really matter as far as your automation. You should be able to set this up in your active campaign or your white belt quite easily, right? And here's one bit that people miss. You might think, okay, I'm going to automate this process with emails and text out to people. Automate notifications to yourself to do the in-person stuff.
Correct.
That is a key. If you have a notification that sends you a little email and it says, oh, this person's been in for 10 days, do your catch up, then you can go, oh, yep, it's booked, great. Oh, no, I forgot it. Great, right? And then lose that email. So it is something where it's not just your outward automated interactions, but your actual in-person stuff you can also automate. Because that's one of the things people go, well, this is just this complicated, long, how am I going to remember with 50 different people that one's 30 days in and another's 35 days in, like that can be very challenging. Automate that process, active campaigns great for it. I'll do an active campaign video on this, right? Cool. To show you guys how to do the basic 3 things you need to do in automation, which is text, emails, and notifications to yourself.
Just as we wrap up, we've just done 4 videos in this series so far, and I want you, as Phil was just saying before, the thing that you need to do is you need to create your future. You need to think big, and for you guys, if you're happy to sit and simmer, so be it. If you want more and you want to do more and want to impact more people in this world, you need to create that. And it's kind of like, I've seen this meme flying around, is I wait till I get fit before I take up martial arts. It's like, come on guys, I'll wait till I'm bigger before I systemize this sales process. You'll never be bigger if you don't systemize it even now. And the fact is, as a smaller school, you actually have the advantage here because you don't have any systems you've got to unlearn and break apart and then rebuild. Sometimes you don't even have a system in place, which means you can put in the right one straight away.
So guys, you heard it from Eddie. Wherever you're watching or listening to this, tag Eddie, reach out to us. You can go to our website, tima.com.au, and you can put a contact form if you want to get that video, or join the closed Facebook group, TIMA Business School, and you'll be able to tag us all in there and go, hey, I want that video that Eddie talked about.
Yeah, cool.
Let us know so we can get it to you. There's plenty of training and community going into that closed Facebook group. And then if you want any free resources and courses and some training from us, then again, you can access that at the website as well. And something that I will add in there as well, talking about this 100 days of contact, we will add in a resource very, very soon so you can see that and it will be spelt out for you. So if you do want to know what we do, how we do it to the nth degree, reach out to us as well so I've got your details and I'll send you some information on that as well. So guys, that's a wrap from us. This 4-part series of sales has been incredible. What's one takeaway you want to give people when it comes to sales?
I think the biggest thing for me in sales is that people know the plan, right? From the very start, seed your pricing and seed how people usually go through the process. And then when they're sitting there going, yeah, take me through that process, you know, they want to be taken through that process. All the other systems and stuff, you can put that in place over time, but make sure that they've got a plan to follow as they come into your business.
Graham, what's yours? Constant evolution, in the sales process is, 10 years ago, the system that worked may not work as effectively now. You've got to continue to look at what your processes are and look at improving. And as we said before, the introduction of the trial flip now into this process gives us our stock standard method, but also an add value where we probably would have missed on those conversions if we had just done the stock standard.
And mine is stop selling, then serving. I ask you to serve your clients first and then sell them on that, okay guys? Hope that's been educational for you guys. Now it's your turn to go out there and implement all this great information, put it into your school, take it to your team meetings, reach out to us and go smash it out there, guys. Ciao.